Hello, today I'm back with the ranking. This time we'll be ranking the albums from the band Unearth, definitely one of the most consistent bands in the world of metalcore. I did get to see them live for the first time a little bit earlier this year, and I also got to meet them too and get a picture with them. I was in line. I was in line like an hour before the doors opened, and I saw the band walking by, so of course I immediately asked for a picture. But yeah, overall it was definitely a really great show. Glad I finally got the chance to see them live. But yeah, going into this ranking, we'll be going from worst to best. Keep in mind, this is just my personal ranking. You don't have to agree with it, but feel free to let me know your ranking in the comment section below. But at the bottom, this is a pretty easy choice for me. Now, I think this album is still decent though, but for me, this is where it falls. We have Watchers of Rule. This is the album that we got at the bottom here. And yeah, again, an alright album. This album might have some of their heaviest work too, but at the end of the day, I just feel that this album doesn't have as many memorable songs compared to the albums that I have above it, and overall I just don't find it as interesting of a listen. But of course, that's just my opinion. But there are some good songs on here though, like The Swarm and Guards of Contagion, which are probably my favorites on the album. But yeah, again, a decent album, but I feel like they've done better though. But next in my ranking, their first album into the 2010s, Darkness and the Light. And yeah, and kind of like with Watchers of Rule, decent album, but for me, I think they've done better though. Now, there are some good songs on here like Watch It Burn, which I think is maybe one of my favorite singles in general from the band. I do like the clean vocals from Ken that you get later in the song. I think that's a nice touch to the song, especially. You also have Arise the War Cry. That's another one of my favorites on the album. You move towards the rest of the album, you do have other good songs like Eyes of Black, and I definitely dig the guitar work and Shadows in the Light. But yeah, overall, decent album. But for me, one of their weaker albums though. But now we're moving to their debut album, The Stings of Conscience. Now, when it comes to metalcore debuts, this would probably, if I were to rank metalcore debut albums, this would probably be more closer to the middle. I think there are better ones out there like Killswitch Engage's first album or Trivium's first album with, of course, Ember to Inferno. But again, still solid debut album though. I mean, I think it starts off pretty strong with those first three songs, especially with My Heart Bleeds No Longer and One Step Away and Fuel the Fire. It was definitely really cool when they performed My Heart Bleeds No Longer live when I saw them earlier this year. That was definitely pretty cool. Definitely one of my favorites on here. You have other good songs on here like Stings of Conscience and My Desire, but you do have a few more average songs on here in my opinion. Songs like Munition and Only the People, which I think are decent, but for me, some of the more average songs on the album. But yeah, overall, solid debut album. Next in my ranking, their final album in the 2010s, we have Extinctions. To me, it's easily the best album when it comes to their 2010s albums. I mean, you have Incinerate, which definitely goes hard live, and maybe one of my favorite album openers from the band. And then you have Dust, which might be my favorite song on the album. I really like that song a lot, especially the guitar work. I also like No Reprisal, which is one of the other singles off the album. And even vocally, I think Trevor sounds pretty good on the album, especially in songs like Incinerate and Cultivation of Infection. But yeah, all around, actually, pretty solid album in my opinion. It does have its share of underrated songs in my opinion, like Dust and Cultivation of Infection. But to me, again, pretty good album in my opinion. But I think they would do even better with the next album and also their most recent album, and also the next album in my ranking with The Wretched, The Ruinous. This was one of my favorite albums of that year, 2023. I still think it holds up fairly well. I also like that EP, Bask in the Blood of Our Demons, whatever that title is. I really like Warrior Souls and Sea of the Lost. I think those two songs are definitely really strong songs for them, especially Warrior Souls. I really dig the main riff in that song. But back to this album, I mean, it opens up with, to me, one of their best singles that they've done since probably the 2000s with title track, The Wretched, The Ruinous, definitely really strong. Another really good single for them. But yeah, you get some pretty killer guitar work on the album, especially in songs like Cremation of the Living and Dawn of the Militant and Eradicator. Call of Existence is probably another one of my favorites on the album. I also like Broken Arrow. I do like the more cleaner vocals that you get in that song. But yeah, all around, really killer album. To me, their best since the 2000s. But next we have an album that some people would probably put at the top. I know this is for many people, for many fans, this is definitely their number one. But for me, lands at number 3 in my ranking, and that is their second album, The Oncoming Storm. Definitely really good sophomore album, maybe one of the best sophomore albums in the world of metalcore. I mean, you have some fan favorites on here that still hold up, like The Great Dividers and Black Hearts Now Reign, and of course Endless. But you have other really great songs in here, like Failure, which is probably one of my favorite Unearth songs. Predetermined Sky, that song goes hard, man. That's maybe one of the heaviest songs on here, and definitely one of my favorites when it comes to the second half of the album. This Line World, I think, is another standout on the album too, but yeah, definitely one of the band's best. I think they would do even better with the next album, In the Eyes of Fire, 3, In the Eyes of Fire. And of course you have Terry Date producing this, so I mean, can't go wrong with that. Definitely a legendary producer in the world of metal. Worked with many great bands such as Deftones and Pantera, but yeah, definitely a really strong album for them, easily one of their best. You have This Glorious Nightmare, which is definitely one of their best album openers. You definitely get some pretty killer drum work in that song especially. You have Sanctity of Brothers, which is definitely one of my favorite Unearth songs. You have so many killer songs, like March of the Mutes, of course. This Time Was Mine, I think, is kind of an underrated song off of here. I'd say the same thing with Unstoppable. I do like Bled Dry, but yeah, all around, definitely a really great album. But at the top, pretty easy choice for me. I think this is probably one of my favorite metalcore albums in general. Absolutely love this album. But we were talking about their 4th album, The March. Yeah, absolutely love this album. You get, of course, great killer guitar work in the album, especially in songs like Hail the Shrine and Truth or Consequence. You have Letting Go, which I think is probably one of their most different sounding songs, maybe one of their most melodic, but of course still sounds heavy though. I mean, again, this is Unearth, but Letting Go is probably another one of my favorites on the album. Vocally, I like what Trevor's doing in that song especially, but the album does open up with one of their biggest songs, maybe their biggest song, with My Will Be Done, which was the song that got me hooked onto the band. You have other fan favorites on here like Grave of Opportunity and Crow Killer. We Are Not Anonymous, I think, is one of the more underrated songs off the album, but yeah, when it comes to a front to back album listen, this one has to be my favorite from Unearth. All around, definitely a really killer album, and honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if this is maybe one of my favorite albums from that year, of course, 2008. But yeah, all around, really killer album, definitely a metalcore masterpiece. But yeah, that is my ranking of the Unearth albums. Let me know your thoughts on my ranking in the comment section below, and of course let me know your ranking in the comment section below too. And also, let me know if you've seen this band live, and let me know, of course, how many times, of course. For me, I saw them live. They were the headliner, and again, definitely put on a really great show. And yeah, let me know some of your favorite or least favorite songs or albums from this band, and all that good stuff. But anyways, thanks for watching. Please leave a comment and a like, subscribe. Have a nice day, and take care.